You asked me to figure out where this video was recorded, so I did. Hi, I'm josemonkey, and I find people who ask to be found. It's International Week! This was a good one, guys. I looked for a while and was starting to struggle until I noticed a clue that I had missed. So what can we see? The video begins with this person showing a Find Me sign on their iPad. They appear to be seated at an outdoor table at what I was thinking was probably a cafe. I noticed that there was a painted sign on the road here. Next, we get a brief look at this bottle that's on the table. I'll come back to that. And then they raise the camera to show us the surroundings. We can see that there's a bicycle locker here, and then we also see some of the nearby buildings. As they turn to the right a bit, we can see some of the other tables at this cafe, and we can also see a sign that has the letter A on it and arrows pointing in either direction. Then they turn the camera back to the left, and we get a view down the street. Okay, so the label on the bottle that we see on the table is for Saison de Bruxelles Lennox. That is the flagship beverage at the Lennox Brewery, which is based in Belgium. I went on their website and discovered they had an address listed in Saint-Gilles, so I figured I'd go check that out just in case they had like a tap room or something there, and maybe that's where this was. But it didn't appear to be the right place. I did notice though that the area looked similar to what I was looking for. And when I looked around a bit, I found painted signs on the roads that were very similar to what I see in the video. I assume it's marking like a bike lane or some kind of mixed use lane or something like that. So I was thinking that maybe I was in roughly the right area. So I went back to the video to see if there was other information I could use to narrow down the location. I started looking at that bike locker. Now that I had an idea that this might be Belgium, I decided to just Google bike locker Belgium. And I found some images that strongly suggested that what I was looking at here was a cyclo parking locker. So I went to their website to see if I could figure out where they had lockers. And they had a tool for looking up locker locations. But guys, there were tons of them. Even if I filtered it to a particular type of locker that I thought this was, it was still way too many for me to go through one at a time. So I went back to the video. I wondered a bit about that sign that we see with the letter A on it. I was thinking that maybe it was marking like a bike path or something like that, but I wasn't really sure. I tried doing some Googling to see if I could find any information about signage like this for bike paths in Belgium, but I didn't really find anything all that helpful. At that point, I had been looking for a while and I was starting to get a little bit concerned that I wasn't getting any closer to finding this place. But guys, that's when I noticed something I had missed. If you look closely at the iPad screen here, we can see that there are some words reflected on the screen. I assumed it was words that were written behind where the person was seated. I flipped the video around and I zoomed in and I was able to make out a partial word here. It looks like we have a word that ends in INOK. I figured that was probably part of the name of the business where this person was seated. Okay, so I was looking for a business, probably a cafe, in Belgium, maybe near Saint-Gilles, and the name of the business should contain INOK. So I decided to write a query against the OpenStreetMap to see if I could find a place like that. And I was prepared to do a very specific search for what I just said, but at the last minute I got nervous. I was nervous that first it wasn't a cafe, maybe it was a pub, and then I also got a little bit nervous that maybe I was wrong about the area that it was in. So I decided to cast a wide net and just look for anything in the OpenStreetMap database in Belgium that had INOK in the name. And I got a pretty short list of results, but only one of them was a cafe near Saint-Gilles. And guys, that was it. You were right here, outside Café Weenok in Schaerbeek, Belgium. I was able to use Google Street View to confirm this view across the street from where you were seated, as well as this view that shows us some of the nearby buildings. You're sitting right about here where this person is in the Google Street View photo. By the way, even though that bike locker isn't visible in the Street View photo because it's kind of old, I went back to the cyclo parking site and I discovered that this location is marked on their map. But I don't think I would have found it on that map without other information. Okay, it's time to check which previous location is closest to this one. And this time it was in Season 1, Episode 82, in Lille, Belgium. That's only about 57 kilometers or 35 miles away from this spot. By the way, for everyone who just ran to the comments to tell me that it's actually pronounced Lille, you can just cancel out of that because this ain't France and that ain't how you say it. Guys, believe it or not, International Week is almost done. There are only 2 episodes left. After that, I will return to the usual mix of showing you American locations and other places around the world. If anybody else wants me to find them, record a video where you say, "Find me, josemonkey," or something like that on camera, or hold up a sign that says something similar. And don't forget to tag me in a comment on that video.